Like pixels on a screen, these are the games of our lives. Welcome to a very special edition of the Games of Our Lives. It's our E3 wrap-up show. We're going to talk about a few items that were announced or discussed during the Electronic 3 conference for video games. Just stuff that we found interesting, stuff that we've been interested in a while. Michael, what did you think of the conferences?
You know what? I think for a non-console announcement year, there was a lot. I mean, it was really pretty cool.
Yeah, both the major console holders, Xbox and Sony, really dropped a bunch of huge bombs, and like the third parties also were really had a very strong showing. I think we'll start with Bethesda. They were the first.
Sorry, Nintendo, you don't crack the top two.
Yeah, that was. They have got their own thing going, you know. They talk directly to their fans. So I mean, I don't think they're really competing with the big two anymore, but they've carved out their own market. So starting with Bethesda, basically they showed a bunch of Fallout 4, which looks ridiculous. I mean, they've been working on it forever, so I guess I'd sort of expect it to be that big. It's now got like full voiceover and conversation stuff for the main character. It has a tower defense mode and a ridiculous crafting system.
I feel like there's a long and proud history of sequels adding in tower defense minigames.
Yeah, I guess.
I mean, Final Fantasy VII had a significant tower defense.
Also snowboarding.
That's true. Hey, Boston's pretty close to Vermont. Got some good snowboarding. Maybe we'll see that.
Yeah, sure.
But no, I'm trying to Assassin's Creed 2X, whichever
Revelations.
Yeah, that added tower defense. It just seems like last bastion of a scoundrel, as it were.
Yeah.
That being said, I love tower defense.
Fallout 4 looks amazing. I'm glad they spent so long working on it because it looks like really polished already. And the best part, I think, is that it's coming in November.
That's really cool, and it is nice how they it's even though they switched off development. I mean, the Bethesda did not do New Vegas, correct?
Yeah, no, that was I think Obsidian.
So this is the what they have. This is how I'm not gonna say how it's supposed to work, but it's how it's supposed to work, right? When you hand off development, it doesn't mean you release a game every year.
Yeah. Yes,
that was another Assassin's Creed dig.
Yeah, well, I mean, Ubisoft is just so large. They release 12 Assassin's games a year, so
same with Activision and Call of Duty. All right, so I think Fallout 4 is I'm tempted to say no brainer, right?
God, yeah. Oh yeah. I might even pre-order that shit.
Whoa, as the highest praise you can have now.
I know. And it wasn't at the Bethesda conference, but they did announce also that you can take PC mods and bring them to your Xbox One version for Fallout 4, which is unheard of.
Do they have to vet them?
I would imagine there would be a list of compatible mods, because otherwise you're just going to have dicks in Xbox versions.
And I mean, you know what? And I think I've heard that before, that the Xbox review process is very onerous.
For like patches and stuff, it's a pain in the butt. I don't know, because mods because it's user generated content, but it's not going through the Microsoft system. I think it's literally just download it to USB stick and plug it into your Xbox.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay, I thought maybe like Bethesda would take a look and be like, okay, you're good. You can sort of go. You can go.
I don't know. They have not talked about the mod. They
haven't announced details.
They haven't talked about the mod tools yet, so maybe.
Oh, best of luck. I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah. They also showed off some of Dishonored 2, which really just reminded me that I need to play Dishonored 1.
Was it only the CG trailer that they showed?
Yeah. But
I mean, they know. Dishonored knows how to make a good trailer.
I mean, that art style is very nice. I like it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So moving on to the Microsoft conference, one of the big first things they announced was that Xbox One has backwards compatibility with some 360 games.
So this is similar. This is software compatibility, correct? So they have to do it on a per game basis.
Yeah. The details that I heard about was that you would basically take your disc for a compatible game, shove it in your Xbox. It would verify that you own the game, then download the digital version, which would be emulated through the Xbox One.
I think that's pretty cool. I mean, that's yeah. I remember when they switched. I think it was a PlayStation 3 at release had basically a full PlayStation 2 inside.
Mm-hmm.
For full compatibility, but then they dumped that.
It's very expensive.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, this is, we're gone to the point where, where this used to be. I guess that's not true. It never really was assumed. It's not like you ever bought an SNES assuming you would play NES games.
No, I don't think it can.
Maybe we were just spoiled about the PlayStation 2, the PlayStation 1 jump.
I think it was just because the hardware was so similar that it was easy to do back then.
Yeah, but hey, I still have a massive pile of 360 games, so this will definitely affect the next console decision for me, at least.
Well, Rock Band has already decided it for you.
Oh, well, that's a good point too. So X-Bone, here we come.
Yeah, so it's going to be a very small list. I think when they finally roll it out, it'll be like 100 games. The publishers can opt in, and it's from what I understand, a very easy process. But don't expect all of your games to be playable whenever they launch it. But probably some of the bigger ones. Definitely probably all of the Microsoft first party games and some of the other games. I know they talked about Mass Effect. I don't think I don't know if they'll do like the other Mass Effect games because they're multi-disc. That seems hard to replicate in a digital format. Who knows? They also showed off a bunch of indies there, including Tacoma, which is the follow-up. Well, not a sequel really, but the follow-up from guys that made Gone Home that has sign language passwords in it.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, there was just one of the clips is this lady logging into a computer system by flashing gang signs, basically. And they showed off.
Hey, Gone Home was amazing.
Yeah.
So I'm a fan of anything. Yeah.
And showing off a game called Cuphead, which it's hard to. No, it's not hard to describe.
We can't do it justice talking about it. This is this is a trailer.
Imagine playing a 1920s cartoon.
I don't know if it's going to be as racist.
Well, I don't think it'll be as racist.
Maybe the final boss is Hirohito?
The Kaiser. But yeah, every single frame of animation in that game hand-drawn in that art style.
And it looks, just from the clips they showed, it looks like a challenging kind of platformer.
Yeah, I bet it will be. Looks beautiful.
Oh yeah, no, it's amazing. Really do. Everyone needs to see the trailer if you haven't already.
Yeah. So moving on to Sony. Sony dropped pretty much the 3 like white whales. I can't imagine the only one that's left is like Half-Life 3. That's the only white whale for gaming that's left. So they showed off The Last Guardian, which is Exitant, coming out maybe next year. They announced that they are doing a full HD up-res remake of Final Fantasy VII, and they announced the Shenmue 3 Kickstarter, which funded itself after 9 hours.
Last I think it was like 2 million after 9 hours or something.
They're up pretty high now. Gonna check on that.
So I saw The Last Guardian. How long is that in development? 9 years, I think.
So I think they showed it off. They announced it like first, I think 7 years ago.
Oh, okay.
And
So at least 7 years, assuming they had some development time before it.
yeah,
I don't know what the track. I mean, it looks phenomenal. Just from what they showed off, I don't know what the track record is for these super long development times.
it's not good. I mean, the reason it sort of died in the womb was that that's a horrible metaphor. Why did I say that? The reason it sort of shriveled on the vine was that
Oh, there you go.
like in the middle of development, they made the switch from PS3 to PS4, developing for
The reason it nukemed on the Duke.
yeah. They made the switch from developing for PS3 to starting to develop for PS4, and the director of the game left the company. So it's
So the director is the guy
Ueda,
who was
yes.
Ico.
the guy that did Ico and Shadow of the Colossus, yeah. But the rest, I mean, some of the team is still there. Obviously, they're working on it. So
you say Ico? Okay, we can do another 10 minutes on how to pronounce that game.
okay, Jersey.
But but I mean, that's another game. It looks gorgeous. I was laughing because you're watching the trailer, and the beast. It has a name, I'm sure. It looks amazing. It's feathered,
Mhm.
and I'm just imagining how pissed the animators were. Like, because some suit probably in the meeting tossed out, "Hey, this thing should have feathers," and then that became a living nightmare for like the next year.
Tress effects, yo. It's hair tech.
I would say, why couldn't he be like a Siamese, like a alopecia type
Yeah,
monster?
I mean, the game's called The Last Guardian. That thing's gonna die. It's gonna be real sad.
Look, I mean, if this is the spiritual successor to Shadow of the Colossus and those kind of games, you kind of know what you're getting into.
Yeah, man.
The big open sort of barren worlds, the one soul companion who you sort of develop this relationship, and then the heart wrenching conclusion.
But I mean, it's amazing that the 3 games, and with Shenmue, by the way, they're at 3.4 million. They have 27 days to go.
Oh, I think they'll just squeak under the wire.
I think they like the highest tier backer reward for 10K. You could buy a replica of the jacket that Rio wears.
Oh, that's pretty cool, actually. $10,000.
Yeah.
Oh, Christ.
The original
So
jacket.
how many backers though?
Right now,
Do you still have it open?
42,000.
So that's, I mean, the Shenmue fans are dedicated. But
yeah.
I understand why they didn't make this game.
It's expensive. Like,
Yeah.
I read it, like the first Shenmue on the Dreamcast cost like $50 million in
Do you know where I can find any
the early
sailors?
2000s, you know?
Oh, that was the heady days of
And I've played the first Shenmue, and I remember like enjoying it, but I remember it being like kind of dumb.
But no, I mean it's cool. Obviously they have money now to make it. It's a little weird. So is Sony gonna make it, or the original developer?
Sony's gonna help out. It is Yu Suzuki, the original director, and his development team making it, but they're gonna help out with like money and marketing. So
I mean, I'm on the fence about whether or not I like the way they did it, because without Kickstarter, it probably never would have happened.
well, yeah,
I'm wondering if this is the start of a trend where now they have a game that they think maybe people will buy, and they'll just sort of get the seed money from Kickstarter.
yeah, it's a strange new world because when in order for this game to get made the normal way, they would have had to spend time and money doing like marketing research and that sort of thing. And Kickstarter is a much easier and quicker way to gauge interest for something. So they're not going to be able to make the game for the 3.4 million that they've raised. There's that is impossible. But what it does
they
show,
want as a 2D pixel platform.
yeah, what it does show is that 43,000 people were willing to pony up upwards of 10 grand for this game.
And the 7 remake, I was kind of I feel like either people are super excited or I've gotten a couple people who are just pissed about it.
I can
I
understand.
don't know what you've
I
encountered.
can understand both sides of it. I would be excited for it just because I like that high res Final Fantasy like animation art style, like the CG stuff from 13 and the movie that they made, the Advent Children movie. I just like the way it looks, so I'm excited for more of that. But I don't know. I never finished Final Fantasy 7, so I don't have that connection to it. But our generation sort of, that game came out in a time when we were angsty teenagers, so
Well, no, this is, I'm feeling, I probably have the same background. 7 was the first RPG I ever played.
okay.
And it definitely sort of colored it. I was always almost kind of proud of Square Enix. Well, for Squaresoft, never did sequels for the longest time, and it was just amazing. They obviously changed somewhere around 10, 10-2, 13-5, whatever they're up to now.
Yeah.
Lightning's Revenge, I assume.
Revengeance, yeah.
So I was always, but you always kind of had that, like, well, at least they haven't remade 7.
Yeah.
And now they're like, all right, well, they're finally doing it.
Yeah, I mean, I can understand.
20 years, I'll give them 20 years isn't bad. If they don't wait that long for movie franchises now.
That's true.
So I respect whatever restraint they had at Squeenix HQ. It's probably on every single meeting agenda. FF7 remake ?
Yeah, it's weird because on the one side, yeah, I do want to play this new version of it. On the other side, it's like I'd rather you just make a really good new one.
Yeah, and that's it. And it's not like the Final Fantasy, the past few games, they haven't really had a great track record. Although I haven't played the MMO, so maybe everyone loves it.
Well, yeah, I mean that's a different team.
Sure,
but like 15, I've heard okay things. I don't know. I played 13. I beat 13. It's the first Final Fantasy I'd beaten in a while.
Oh, nice. I will say I'll feel better. Yeah, I think same here. I did. That was, but I'll feel better about this announcement if 15 comes out and sort of matches the hype. Not that would ever happen.
Well,
no.
Nomura is no longer working on 15, so he's been moved on to do other things. I imagine to work on the remake for 7.
I mean, this is. I know I'm greatly oversimplifying it, but you wonder if 7, since it is a remake, they have said they're going to make some updates and add some content, I think.
Yeah, I don't know.
But then again, there's, what? Nothing's done on this game. It's coming out in 2 years, probably. I think they said 2017.
They didn't say anything.
I mean, they have a. Oh, you're right. Well, that's it. They haven't said anything. I think that's the 20-year anniversary, so that's just probably an assumption people are making.
Yeah, right. That game is so huge.
But we were just talking about how cool it is that Fallout 4 is coming out this year, XCOM 2 is coming out this year, and it seemed like companies are starting to kind of get into that. Hey, let's make sure we have a game we can show before we announce it. And Squeenix is like, hey, you guys want to see Cloud's shoulder?
Yeah, yeah.
We rendered it real pretty.
I mean, maybe they've been working on it just in the background for the last couple of years, but I don't know, since the hardware architecture has changed so much.
I was going to say, in which case you'd have to dump everything.
You'd have to start over again, yeah. And maybe rendering CG in the background, that makes sense because that takes some time. Who knows?
I will play this game for nothing else to get to see how they handle the Cloud cross-dressing scene in full HD, 4K, 3D, everything.
Yeah, jeez.
All right, anything else from the Sony demo?
Horizon Zero Dawn being made by Guerrilla Games. Probably the game that I am most excited for. I don't know anything about it other than the weird little gameplay trailer that they showed, but it looks amazing.
Yeah, I mean, it looks cool. It was kind of a cool concept.
The technopocalypse has occurred, and like robo-dinosaurs rule the Earth. Or we're assuming the Earth.
When it first started and they were showing sort of the cities, the growth back into the cities, I'm like, oh, this is that game they had where you play as animals. Right?
Tokyo Jungle.
Tokyo Jungle, yeah, it's Tokyo Jungle.
Except with robots.
Which you know what? That sounds like a great game.
Yeah, I'm way excited for that to come out.
They really I know it's not the same company, but my first thought when you saw the main character, besides the fact that they really have impressive the hair braid technology apparently was not lost in the
Yeah,
apocalypse.
Tress effects, yo.
Yeah, I was thinking like Heavenly Sword because they're like she's running down a hill and they're like we have to show as many things flowing as possible.
Guerrilla Games no, that was Team Ninja.
I think
That
that
was
was
sorry,
no, I
Ninja
was gonna
Theory
say,
rather.
I'd have to look it up, but
Yeah.
that was kind of my first thought seeing the protagonist. But the game does look really cool just from the 5 minutes they showed.
Yeah,
off.
I'm if we talked a little bit about this last week, but if it's like a Monster Hunter sort of thing, I'm down now. I've played 50 hours of Monster Hunter.
You've caught that bug.
It's dangerous. Stay away.
All right, so let's talk a little about I guess some of the third party games that caught our eye.
Dark Souls 3 was officially announced. There was a big leak about it the week before E3. No dates or anything, no gameplay, just sort of it's happening. Apparently Miyazaki, who went off to work on Bloodborne while they made Dark Souls 2, is back on the project, which it has a lot of people excited. Dark Souls 2 was great. I don't know what they're going to innovate on to get it to Dark Souls 3, but it's supposed to be super different from Bloodborne, which came out last year or this year.
Dark Souls 3 even darker.
Dark Souls 3 continuing to be dark. Ubisoft announced another South Park game, a sequel. The Fractured Butthole is what they're calling it.
Did you play Stick of Truth?
I did not. You did, however.
So this is Stick of Truth is the easiest game to recommend. If you like South Park, you should play Stick of Truth. If you do not like South Park, you should not play Stick of Truth, and that's it. That's all you need to know.
Then there's going to be more of it.
I'm excited. I mean, Stick of Truth was really funny. I enjoyed it. I'd probably be interested in this new one. Looks to be a superhero themed as opposed to the fantasy. It's basically it's pretty much it's Mario RPG. That's pretty much the combat system.
Okay.
So it's something that it's
Also, EA showed off a teaser for the new Mass Effect, which is Mass Effect Andromeda. I read a news story about it. As a big Mass Effect fan, I am a little worried about it, just because this is the first Mass Effect game that is being done without the most of BioWare still being there.
Okay, but so the name BioWare is still going to be on it, but it's not the same team.
Yeah, well, I mean, a lot of the bigwigs at BioWare have left for other projects, like the Doctors and Casey Hudson. They're all no longer there. So I am worried. And this article, which was an interview with the developers, they talked a lot about other EA games like Battlefield and Need for Speed.
I was just gonna say, well, as long as it's not an arena shooter.
Well, I'm worried that it's going to be less of a talkie, more of a shooty.
I would say, as long as the two scariest words we're going to hear are open world.
Well, it will. Hopefully, it will be. I'm hoping that
think so?
I mean, like.
Well, I mean, open world, just like on one planet, like you're.
Oh yeah, no. Like... There was a semi leak of maybe survey data that indicated it's going to be like a Wild West thing where there's this new galaxy and you're going exploring new planets. So.
Oh, you know what you said? You said survey data. My first thought was like, finally, that's what people are clamoring for.
Oh,
more planet surveys.
I hope EA isn't listening, but I'd buy a mobile game that was the surveying minigame.
Oh God, no! Delete this when you edit it. They can't know.
The
EA mines YouTube for the words EA and would buy.
What was I gonna say? Mike, what was I gonna say?
We were talking Wild West and Mass Effect.
Oh yeah, I do have some worries about it, but I did enjoy Dragon Age, which is the first real BioWare game that had been done since most of BioWare left. So I will I'll let them have this one for now.
And enough time has passed where I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm definitely up for another Mass Effect game. And one of the good things that came out of sort of the 3 ending as it did is that I kind of feel like I'm free from the Mass Effect series. Like, if I just wanted to leave it, I wouldn't feel like I'm missing anything.
Yeah, Shepard's done.
They set me free.
There you
They're
go.
like, here you go. Shepard will return in.
Yeah. Speaking of more EA stuff, they showed off Battlefront, Star Wars Battlefield Front 4.
So this is a game where I'm probably like literally the target audience.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
but I just never got into them. I never liked them.
I mean, yeah, I should be really into it too, but it's only multiplayer. I'm not interested in playing that. I want a single player game.
Yeah. Nah, and I don't know, for some reason I got into Battlefield and I played 1, 2, 3, 4. But Battlefront, I think I just played the first one and then I kind of tried the second one. Maybe I rented it or something, which
It's the first 2 Battlefronts were more like Battlefield 1942 than the modern Battlefield games.
Yeah, which is good to me. Battlefield 942 is probably my favorite, but
yeah.
I mean, I'm not super invested in this.
I mean, it looks cool.
It looks really nice.
It sounds like all of the sound effects you want are there. I just have no interest in playing a multiplayer game only. So, like a ticket-based arena shooter or whatever.
Yeah, maybe if you make it Rogue Squadron 4, we'll talk.
Oh, yeah. Love that game. Just Cause is coming out in December. Just Cause 3.
Just because we can.
I love Just Cause 2, and Just Cause 3 looks to be like 100% more of Just Cause 2, which seems impossible.
Yeah, this kind of seems like a Saints Row situation where they try to make a game one way, and then the fans enjoy the wackiness aspect, and they're like, okay, we'll make that game.
Yeah,
which I enjoy. They're not trying to compete against GTA. They're like, nope.
Beautiful. Love it. So let's try to talk a little bit about some Nintendo stuff, just to give them some equal time. They what did Nintendo even show? I'm trying to remember.
I think they showed the Mario Maker.
Ah, yes, that's right. Super Mario Maker, which I don't know, looks cool.
I mean, theoretically, it's as much Mario. Nintendo's like, we'll never have to make another Mario game again. They'll make it for us.
They had I think the final challenge at the Nintendo World Championships was some custom Mario Maker maps that were ridiculous. So.
Yeah, I mean that's more Mario is good, more Mario content. Yeah, like you said, they showed off some of those Wooly games, which look nice. They look fine. Not too much. They showed off Metroid, but it was
Metroid
not.
Federation
it was
Force.
Not sort of the Metroid Prime.
It's a spin-off.
People wanted. Yeah,
people are mad about that for some reason.
People love getting mad.
Yeah, they sure do. They showed off. They named the new Fire Emblem game, which looks like more Fire Emblem. Fire Emblem Awakening was great. So, I mean, they just showed off the cinematics. They didn't show any real gameplay.
I have a feeling I know what the gameplay is going to look like for this one.
Yeah.
Call me crazy.
They also showed off SMT Crossfire Emblem, which looks really weird. I had no idea what that game was going to be, and now I know.
Tensei?
Yeah, the Shin Megami Tensei Cross Fire Emblem. That was the weird one that had all the singing in it, the anime singing.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, so I guess it's going to be like a Shin Megami Tensei game where you summon Fire Emblem characters.
They did show. They showed kind of a new Star Fox.
Ah, yes, the new Star Fox. Which the control scheme looks really weird, where you are moving the ship on your television, but you're aiming on the gamepad.
And this is it's actually had motion controls kind of work in Splatoon.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess they figure, and it's fun. It's fun in Splatoon. I'll be curious in maybe like a more fast-paced game
But I
if it
mean,
would kind of hold up.
in Splatoon, you're not looking down at your gamepad to aim, though, right?
No, you're not. You're looking at the TV.
Yeah. So it's a third-person view on your TV for Star Fox, and the gamepad has a cockpit view. So
Oh, okay, yeah.
you're sort of decoupled in that way, and I imagine that can be really confusing, at least for a little while. I don't know how long it's going to take to sort of get used to that.
No, you're right. They showed a new Zelda 3DS that's like a 3-person co-op.
It's Tri-Sword Adventures.
Yeah, I mean the Four Sword Adventures was a good game, but it was just almost impossible to actually get the setup. I mean, you needed 4 GBAs.
And link cables.
Oh yeah, no, it was just
However
I
long it
never
takes
got it working.
Yeah, however long it takes to play the game.
Yeah,
So
so at least this one, I think all you need is your 3DS.
I mean, yeah, I think you can play just switching between the 3 pieces if you're playing by yourself, but obviously that's not what they're designing for. So
I mean, as long as if you can play online though, which I think they said you could. I mean, that's a big difference.
And Nintendo Online for me has always been janky on the 3DS. So
Yeah, I've gotten it. I think I've used it probably most on Mario Kart. It's been pretty good.
For
Smash Brothers, a little maybe less so.
Yeah, for like short matches, it certainly holds together. But I don't know how long it's gonna last for like multiple hour play sessions. Who knows?
No, that's true.
But yeah,
they did not show anything for the Zelda Wii U though.
No,
which I think is what people wanted.
They intentionally, and they did name check their new hardware. They're not going to talk about that till next year. So
the Wii U or the DS?
The NX, new system, new console.
Oh man, they love this. Someone needs to teach them a synonym for the word new.
Well, I mean, they're not calling it the Wii New, thank God.
God.
I think it's just it's right now it's being called NX, and I hope they stay with that name because it sounds a lot better than Wii something.
It's extreme.
Yeah, it's the new extreme. But
all right, Chris, was anything else you want to talk about?
I can't think of anything, even though E3 just happened. I woke up like an hour ago, so.
No, it's definitely I mean, a lot of most of the franchises got a new installment. The one sort of franchise that I thought looked interesting was the new Ghost Recon.
Okay.
Wildlands. It's open world. It's open world. I don't know if you've played any of the Ghost Recon games.
I think I played like the first Ghost Recon.
They're decent third-person shooters. The funny part to me, so the story is, I guess it's you and your team, so 4 people are just dropped into this random South American country A, and you're taking down drug cartels. And I laughed because that's literally the plot to Clear and Present Danger, the old Tom Clancy movie.
Well, I mean, that makes sense. Ubisoft makes 12 Tom Clancy games a year.
I know, no, and I mean, I'm sure somewhere in the 18 names this game has, Tom Clancy presents Ghost Recon's Wildlands Adventure or something.
Advanced Warfighter,
yeah, but one of the interesting thing they're doing is basically when they have a mission, it's almost like Far Cry, and that the idea is you can approach it any way you want. So stealth, like long range, just going guns blazing, and I always enjoy that sort of gameplay.
It looks like it's going to be another Ubisoft open world game where you
and it is an Ubisoft. And
did you know that the crew had towers that you'd drive up to unlock more of the map?
Oh my god, they love that.
Yeah, they do. So I guess in this one you climb up mountains or towers to unlock new drug leaders.
I'm sure it's gonna be radio towers.
Yeah. No, I think that pretty much covers E3 for us. I think we've hit up all of the items that we found interesting. Thank you for listening. If you like the show, go ahead and spread us around. That's the only way that we grow the audience. Thanks, Mike, for joining me on this very special annualized E3 wrap-up edition of the Games of Our Lives.
Always a pleasure.
Yeah, and we'll see you next time.
I was like, oh, it's the same Sora.
He looks maybe a little bit older.
Yeah.
I wonder if Haley Joel Osment will still voice him.
Oh God, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Oh, what a difference that would be.
Because he's a crazy mountain man now.
Donald, we have to save the Keyblade.
Donald, do you remember the Keyblade Wars? Riku!
Yeah, no, I think that's spot on.